The Frog and the Ox by Aesop. Once a little frog sat by a big frog by the side of a pool. "Oh, father," said he, "I have just seen the biggest animal in the world. It was as big as a mountain, and it had horns on its head, and it had hoofs divided in two." "Poor child," said the old frog, "that was only Farmer White's ox. He is not so very big. I could easily make myself as big as he." And he blew, and he blew, and he blew, and swelled himself out. "Was he as big as that?" he asked the little frog. "Oh, much bigger," said the little frog. The old frog blew and blew and blew again, and swelled himself out more than ever. "Was he bigger than that?" he said. "Much, much bigger," said the little frog. "I can make myself as big," said the old frog, and once more he blew and blew and blew and swelled himself out, and he burst. Self-conceit leads to self-destruction. The Goose with the Golden Eggs by Aesop. One day a countryman going to the nest of his goose found there an egg all yellow and glittering. When he took it up, it was as heavy as lead, and he was going to throw it away because he thought a trick had been played upon him. But he took it home on second thoughts and soon found to his delight that it was an egg of pure gold. Every morning the same thing occurred, and he soon became rich by selling his eggs. As he grew rich, he grew greedy, and thinking to get at once all the gold the goose could give, he killed it and opened it only to find nothing. Greed oft o'erreaches itself. The Hare and the Tortoise by Aesop. The hare was once boasting of his speed before the other animals. "I have never yet been beaten," said he. "When I put forth my full speed, I challenge anyone here to race with me." The tortoise said quietly, "I accept your challenge." "That is a good joke," said the hare. "I could dance round you all the way." "Keep your boasting till you've beaten," answered the tortoise. "Shall we race?" So a course was fixed and a start was made. The hare darted almost out of sight at once, but soon stopped, and to show his contempt for the tortoise, lay down to have a nap. The tortoise plodded on, and when the hare awoke from his nap, he saw the tortoise just near the winning post, and could not run up in time to save the race. Then said the tortoise, "Plodding wins the race." The Hart and the Hunter by Aesop. The hart was once drinking from a pool and admiring the noble figure he made there. "Ah," said he, "where can you see such noble horns as these, with such antlers? I wish I had legs more worthy to bear such a noble crown. It is a pity they are so slim and slight." At that moment a hunter approached and sent an arrow whistling after him. Away bounded the hart, and soon, by the aid of his nimble legs, was nearly out of sight of the hunter. But not noticing where he was going, he passed under some trees with branches growing low down, in which his antlers were caught, so that the hunter had time to come up. "Alas, alas!" cried the hart. "We often despise what is most useful to us." The Hart in the Ox Stall by Aesop. A hart, hotly pursued by the hounds, fled for refuge into an ox stall, and buried itself in a truss of hay, leaving nothing to be seen but the tips of his horns. Soon after the hunters came up and asked if anyone had seen the hart. The stable boys, who had been resting after their dinner, looked round but could see nothing, and the hunters went away. Shortly afterwards the master came in, and looking round saw that something unusual had taken place. He pointed to the truss of hay and said, "What are those two curious things sticking out of the hay?" And when the stable boys came to look, they discovered the hart, and soon made an end of him. He thus learnt that nothing escapes the master's eye. Hercules and the Wagoner by Aesop. A carter was driving a wagon along a country lane when the wheels sank down deep into a rut. The rustic driver, stupefied and aghast, stood looking at the wagon, and did nothing but utter loud cries to Hercules to come and help him. Hercules, it is said, appeared and thus addressed him. "Put your shoulders to the wheels, my man. Goad on your bullocks, and never more pray to me for help until you have done your best to help yourself, or depend upon it you will henceforth pray in vain." Self-help is the best help. Hercules and the Wagoner by Aesop. A wagoner was once driving a heavy load along a very muddy way. At last he came to a part of the road where the wheels sank halfway into the mire, and the more the horses pulled, the deeper sank the wheels. So the wagoner threw down his whip and knelt down and prayed to Hercules the strong. "O Hercules, help me in this my hour of distress," quoth he. But Hercules appeared to him and said, "Tut, man, don't sprawl there. Get up and put your shoulder to the wheel." The gods help them that help themselves. The Herdsman and the Lost Bull by Aesop. A herdsman tending his flock in a forest lost a bull calf from the fold. After a long and fruitless search, he made a vow that if he could only discover the thief who had stolen the calf, he would offer a lamb in sacrifice to Hermes, Pan, and the guardian deities of the forest. Not long afterwards, as he ascended a small hillock, he saw at its foot a lion feeding on the calf. Terrified at the sight, he lifted his eyes and his hands to heaven and said, "Just now I vowed to offer a lamb to the guardian deities of the forest if I could only find out who robbed me. But now that I have discovered the thief, I would willingly add a full-grown bull to the calf I have lost, if I may only secure my own escape from him in safety." The Horse, Hunter, and Stag by Aesop. A quarrel had arisen between the horse and the stag, so the horse came to a hunter to ask his help to take revenge on the stag. The hunter agreed, but said, "If you desire to conquer the stag, you must permit me to place this piece of iron between your jaws, so that I may guide you with these reins, and allow this saddle to be placed upon your back, so that I may keep steady upon you as we follow after the enemy." The horse agreed to the conditions, and the hunter soon saddled and bridled him. Then, with the aid of the hunter, the horse soon overcame the stag, and said to the hunter, "Now, get off and remove those things from my mouth and back." "Not so fast, friend," said the hunter. "I have now got you under bit and spur, and prefer to keep you as you are at present. If you allow men to use you for your own purposes, they will use you for theirs." The Jay and the Peacock by Aesop. A jay venturing into a yard where peacocks used to walk found there a number of feathers which had fallen from the peacocks when they were molting. He tied them all to his tail and strutted toward the peacocks. When he came near them, they soon discovered the cheat, and strided up to him, pecked at him, and plucked away his borrowed plumes. So the jay could do no better than to go back to the other jays, who had watched his behavior from a distance. But they were equally annoyed with him, and told him, "It is not only fine feathers that make fine birds."